Hi everybody, it's Ken Varga again. I tell you, as I mentioned to you when we did the last webinar, at 74, this is really exciting to me. And I want to share all this with you because uh, 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 it's just something here that is the name of the game in our industry is prospecting. Without prospects, we get nowhere because we don't have individuals to sell to. So I'm going to be showing you in this webinar how to turn 62% of the people in your LinkedIn groups into prospects for your business. And as you know, then I stress this all the time. Every time you've heard me say something, it's all about building relationships. So the prospects come in, now it's up to you to build those relationships. And those of you who are in my coaching program that are on this webinar, could really understand exactly what I'm talking about because I give you many, many ways and show you many ways to build relationships with people, because when you build a relationship with an individual, that leads to trust, and everything works out good from there. John, I got a poll in progress. Can you see it on here? What is that?
Yeah, this is just a quick poll to everybody on the call, just to ask if people have ever used LinkedIn successfully before to generate paying clients. So it'd be interesting to see out of the participants on the call, had they used it successfully or not. And
How do I give this, John?
So right about now, if you just click yes, that'll remove your poll. By clicking yes or no.
Yes, it's not taking it.
Okay. I'm going to be closing out the poll. It looks like most of the people have voted on it. And looks like, Ken, just for your information, about 33% of people have said that they've successfully used LinkedIn to generate paying clients, and about 67% have said no. So we've closed that poll out. So thanks everybody for voting on that, and yep, we're going to go back to the presentation. So just wanted to put some feelers out for you to see, before we got started, of who's used it and who hasn't. All right.
I want everybody to make sure that they have a pad and pen handy so that you can take notes. Now at the end, sometime within the next week, you're going to get a link for the recording of this webinar. So you don't want to really take extensive notes and try to scribble your notes. You'll always get the recording, and you'll be able to review it over and over again. And that is pretty cool. But I also want you to hold your questions off till the end. And this way, we'll be able to answer all your questions. But let's get started now. All right. This is a little bit of a biography about me. When you get the recording, you could pause it and go over it. I kind of feel very uncomfortable talking about myself and, patting myself on the back. So this is just a little bit about myself. For those of you who don't know me, or you could go on to LinkedIn and get the watch my profile. Why do people use LinkedIn? For 4 reasons. They maintain professional identity, make useful contacts, search for opportunities, and they stay in touch. I don't know if all of you know, but 4 out of 5 LinkedIn members drive the business decisions that are made in their business. And those business decisions could be whether or not to purchase your products. All right? But 39% of the members of LinkedIn are senior level executives and above, which is very, very exciting. So these statistics that I'm showing you are really relevant. 28% of the members, by the way, are responsible for managing their budgets. So that's critical to find out who those individuals are and then to try to build a relationship with them. But LinkedIn members are active, influential professionals in a business frame of mind. They use LinkedIn to learn about new products and services. They keep up with industry trends, research companies, network with peers, and they conduct business via LinkedIn. All right? But LinkedIn reaches a very unique audience. 83% of the users do not visit Pinterest. That's an interesting statistic. So if you're on Pinterest, understand that 83% of those individuals on LinkedIn don't go to Pinterest. 59% of LinkedIn users don't go and visit Google. 58% of LinkedIn do not visit Twitter. 13% of LinkedIn users don't visit Facebook. These are very important statistics here, and this just shows you how LinkedIn reaches a very unique audience. But LinkedIn is a powerful network with over 400 million professionals who are also, and this is critical, consumers. This is the buying power index. Recent studies show that LinkedIn members have the highest buying power compared to other social networks. This is an important statistic. But communicating in LinkedIn, understanding your connections and effect on your ability to communicate in LinkedIn. You've got 3 different degrees of individuals. You've got your first degree, who are people that you're directly connected to because you've accepted their invitation to connect, or they've accepted your invitation. And you can contact them by sending a message on LinkedIn. The whole strategy I'm going to show you is based on getting their personal email and phone number. And that's how we're going to be doing this, so that they're on your first level and you got their personal email and phone number so that you could continually communicate with them on their personal email. And again, it's all about building those relationships. You've got second degree people who are connected to your first degree connections. And you can send them an invitation by clicking on connect or contact them through an email. Then lastly, you've got the third degree people. They're connected to your second degree connections. If their full first and last names are displayed, if you are connected by a LinkedIn group affiliation, you can then send them an invitation by clicking connect. If only the first letter of their last name is displayed, clicking connect is not an option, but you can still contact them through an email. In-mail, they call it, rather. So anyway, but there's key strategies that I'm going to show you to help convert LinkedIn connections into prospects. All right, you want to optimize, number one, your LinkedIn profile. The key areas you want to look at is the headline, summary, contact info, experience, and job description. By the way, you're going to be getting my personal email, and if you have any questions in any of these areas or difficulty in creating your profile like I'm showing you, all right, then what you want to do is send me an email and we'll arrange a phone call, and I'll be glad to help you with that. But you want to build your first level connections. You want to join LinkedIn groups where your prospects are. I got to stress that enough. You want to belong to groups where your prospects are. And another sideline is you want to create your own LinkedIn group. I stress that immensely to individuals that are in my coaching program. But you want to keep your profile alive and engaging. So this is how to join LinkedIn groups. All right? You click on Interest and Groups. I've circled it where it is right there. All right? So to the left of the search bar, click on a down arrow and click on Groups. All right, do you see the search bar up there? All right, here's the down arrow right here, and then you click on Groups. All right, now let's say small business owners are your groups. You type in small business owners, and you now hit the blue magnifying glass thing in the search bar. So you type in a keyword representing the groups for your target prospects, who will be your client and customer base, who would likely be members. and then again, like I said, you click on the blue thing. Now it lists all the members. Lately, all you need to do was to click on join, and you would be able to join those groups, but for some odd reason, LinkedIn currently is having some difficulties. So I'm suggesting to everybody just to click on the groups and then click on Ask to Join. All right, so you click on the name of the group you wish to join, and let's say in this particular situation it was Mastermind Group for Small Business Owners. And then you click on Ask to Join. I've circled that on the right-hand side. All right? And then within a day or two, you should be approved in the group. But how do you choose a LinkedIn groups? Groups should have people who will be your clients or power partners. Like if you're going to use the individuals as a third-party influencer, you want to have power partners who would refer clients to you. Now, how do you determine ideal groups to join? Here's some categories. I normally choose groups that have 15 or more new members every day. I choose groups that have at least 10,000 new members. I normally choose groups that are marked active or very active. And I also choose groups that have a lot of activity and engagement. In other words, there's new posts every day. But connecting with members in your groups, how do you do that? You know, I'm going to show you how to send a connection request on LinkedIn. So you create a list of common first names. If you want, just send me an email at kenpbg@aol.com, and you won't have to reinvent the wheel. I'll send you the list of common first names that I have. All right, I just copied it down below here. All right, so there's my email, and I'll forward you my list. All right, so now what you want to do is sending a connection request in LinkedIn. You want to go to interest in groups, like I just showed you here. Go to groups, and then you click on My Groups on the top left, and now it's going to list the groups that you belong to. In my situation, these 3 are groups that I created, and then these other groups are groups I belong to. So now you're going to click on, let's say, the CXO one. So now that's the target group that you want to send the message to. Now what you want to do is type in keywords. You could type the names in you have in either keywords or first name. Either place you could type in the first name. Now you want to click on group members. Then you want to click on the group that you're working on the right-hand side. Now you're going to click on the search bar on the bottom left. All right? Now this is going to show all the Johns that are in this group. So you're going to start with the ones that say connect. Okay, so you're going to select the first ones that are your second level connection. So you're going to click on John Folis is there. So now you're going to click on the connect, you're going to click on his name and then click on the connect button. All right? Now when you click on the connect button, it's going to say invite John to join you. Okay, some individuals don't want to get messages. All right, so all we do is just simply type in the name of the group, and I type in, I'd like you to add me to my personal group, and that, you know, it works that way to make it all happen. All right. Okay, so if this happens where you got to do this here, then just go to the next second level person who happens to be John Maloff. Now you click on a connect button, and this is what's going to show up. You're going to click in the friend button, all right, and then you're going to type in the message. It's going to be a message you're going to replace with the generic message, all right? The generic message you don't want to send because everybody is doing it. You want to create your own message, and here it says, as a fellow member of the name of the group, I'd like to accept you to accept my request to connect. And now just put your first name and last name. Now you could add more onto it. You know, you could add on, in some of my messages, I add on a simple message of, please look at my profile, and when you do, you can see how I could be a valuable asset to you. And then you click on send the invitation. All right, so the other way you could do it, sending a connection request on LinkedIn, is once the person has accepted your connection request, you're going to receive a notification from LinkedIn in your email. Every day, all right, every day when you do these connection messages, every day you're going to receive an email from LinkedIn that's going to say, see John's connections, see Mary's connections, etc. So the first thing you're going to do is click on View Profile. All right. You want to go to your email messages. You'll see Mark's connections. All right. And then you're going to click on the profile, View Profile. All right. Now what you're going to do is underneath the 387, it says Contact Info. Some groups have contact data. So what you do is when you click on that data info, it's going to give you Mark's email and phone number. I blocked it off on the bottom. But now you take that information and you put it in your prospecting CRM software program, so that at a click of a button you could consistently follow up over a period of time. So now that you've put it in your thing, here's the message that I created, all right, for an individual when they've accepted my connection message. I just simply have, hi Mark, thank you for accepting me into your network. On LinkedIn, we are here to help each other with ideas and referrals. Please tell me a little about yourself and who your ideal referral would be, so that when I see someone like that, I can refer them to you. My personal email is, and you want to type your personal email in. Then you type in, have a great day, and you type your name and your phone number on the bottom. Now I'll give you a minute to copy down this message. And again, you're going to get a copy of the recording. So all you need to do is to pause it at this stage and copy it in greater detail. Okay, let's move on now. All right, you're going to click on send a message and always put in the subject line, LinkedIn is recently changing. Some of you still have, when you send a message, a subject line. If you have a subject line, you always put in from your name. So it'll be from Ken Varga, from Harry Johnson, from John Smith, etc. in the subject line. If you don't have a subject line, you're just going to type in hi Mark in the message. Okay, there you go on a subject line. Then you want to right click and paste the message. Okay, if you want a copy of this again, just let me know and I'll be glad to send it to you. So there's my email again, kenpbg@aol.com. Okay, 1 out of 10 individuals will respond back to you. This is immense, individuals. This is this is so immense, it's unbelievable. But now you wanted to thank them for telling you who their ideal referral would be. Now, one of two things are going to happen. Either they're going to respond back to you and tell you who their ideal referral is, or they're not. All right? But the first thing you're going to do, all right, if they respond back, is to find an article in heehow.com and simply paste it and tell them, let you know what they think of it. Again, you're trying to get them to respond again, because you don't want to try to sell them as soon as they respond, because they're waiting and thinking this is what you're trying to do. Again, it's about building relationships. Now, those of you in my coaching program, and if you ever join my coaching program, I give you license to build that relationship with many of the things with my ebooks and what have you that you can forward. For those that respond, you want to thank them for telling you about it. All right? And if they haven't responded, you want to follow up every 4 weeks with a follow-up message. And here's a follow-up message, so write it down. This is an email that I put together that works very, very well. Normally, when you send this follow-up message, about 82% of the individuals will now respond back to you. So take a moment, write it down, and again, you're going to get a copy of this replay of the webinar, so you can always pause it here and write it down in your leisure where you can understand your handwriting. Okay, let's go on. But with this connection message, I get a 62% response rate. Unbelievable. That's why I titled this webinar 62% of the individuals. Everybody is on LinkedIn for one reason only: to get referrals. I'm sure all of you will agree with me on that. And to make sales. All right? With our messages, you have just opened the door for those individuals. And now they will bond with us if you continue to build that relationship. And again, it's all about building a relationship with those individuals. Now, here's some very important tips for you. You want to send the message to your second or third level connections only. Now, a lot of you have a lot of other individuals. So what I normally do, where before you saw the 4 boxes, instead of clicking on group members, I'll just click on second connection and third connection. So that'll eliminate all of the individuals that are in that group that are already on your first level. I want you to do at least 10 or more of this every day. Individuals in my coaching program tell me what I've just showed you takes them less than 30 seconds a day to do. It takes you less than a minute a day to do. I mean, it's just unbelievable. There's no excuse for you not to do this. But you can send up to a maximum of 50 requests within each 24-hour period. I kind of say go to 40 and that's it. Don't go above 40. Now, you're probably going to want to hire a virtual assistant to do this for you, as I have. My virtual assistant does all my LinkedIn connection messages and what have you. A VA spending an hour a day, all right, to send out 125 messages a week. All right? What are the benefits of using LinkedIn? It's an inexpensive way of building your pipeline and building your community. You get more prospective clients by joining groups and sending new connections. You get a systematic way of doing lead generation and increasing referrals from your new connections. According to my subscribers in my coaching program, just listen to this. They're getting up to 62% response rate also on the connection messages on LinkedIn. For example, if you or the virtual assistant send out 100 messages per month, you'll get up to 62 prospects that you can build a relationship with, and now you can present your product or service to. That is absolutely phenomenal. But I just want to mention a little bit about my coaching program. You know, what would it be worth to receive step-by-step instructions? You're going to get every month a new module with new strategies to help you create more customers. We're going to have a monthly conference call where we have live question and answering things on the month's module or any questions that an individual might have. Plus, you get access to the conference call where most individuals put it in their iTunes and they listen to the conference call over and over because they tell me they hear ideas that they didn't think they heard when they were first listening to it. But it's only $20 a month. But I'm going to tell you this. I will guarantee you that you will get 10 to 25 new prospects per month. Here's the website for the coaching program. It's www.buildyourbusinessfast.com. Now, I'm going to guarantee you that after you sign up, you're going to have, it's going to be a game changer for building your business. But I'm going to guarantee you that after you receive the first module, if you don't feel it's worth the $20, just send me an email and I'll return the $20 to you. I think that's highly fair enough. So I hope that all of you are going to go to the coaching program and take advantage of it. But it's www.buildyourbusinessfast.com. Anyway, everything I've showed you is so easy to implement. You might think you're a little bit overwhelmed right now, but what you need is a virtual assistant, like I mentioned before, like I had. And they will help you generate prospects without having to spend all the time doing it. I'd like to take a moment here, to just introduce John, because John will show you how the virtual assistants can help you create prospects for you to present your product and services to, and or to make appointments for you. I'm using a virtual assistant for many years now, and I found them to be very useful. The VAs can help you grow your network by helping create and optimize your LinkedIn profile. They can do all this for you. They can send your connection messages. They can search for and join LinkedIn groups where your prospects are located. They can post interesting articles to your LinkedIn groups and on your status, setting appointments for you, managing your calendar, creating and sending out your newsletters, managing your contacts and email marketing, updating your website contact, blog articles, whatever it might be. But they could also manage your social media marketing campaigns and accounts. But the most important part, if you have a website, they can increase your traffic and search ranking and much, much more. VAs create prospects for you to present your product services to. At this point, I'd like to introduce John Davern to take over and show you exactly what he does. And this is a firm that I use that I've had much, much success with. John, if you can take over now, I'd appreciate it.
Great. Well, thanks, Ken. It's a pleasure to be on the call, and thanks to everybody also for being on the call and webinar as well. And you know, I've been a part of Ken's coaching program for several years, and I can tell you, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, it's really, for me, has been the missing link in my business, in terms of when I've had questions or I've needed help with certain things. The coaching program has really helped to fill that gap. And as business owners, this is something that we all need, something where we can go to others who've been successful and get key questions and key answers that we may need to help run our business. Now, a little bit about me, just so you know, a little bit about my background. I have a corporate background in human resources and recruiting. So I've spent time working in HR for Fortune 500 companies such as GE, Home Depot, Toyota, General Motors joint venture. And I've, as a HR professional, I hired and trained thousands of people. But at the same time, as a person in corporate, I also wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be my own boss, to have my own business. And at the time, I had been working at Home Depot and as an HR manager there. And this was during a major housing craze, people buying houses, flipping houses. And I was surrounded by that environment, and I was surrounded by home improvement. And I wanted to have my own business as being a real estate investor. And so while working my corporate job, I was working at least 55 hours a week at my corporate job. I started investing in real estate. I started a real estate investing business. I put up a website. I was doing the marketing for my real estate investment business on my own. And I found myself working 55 hours a week in my corporate job, and then I'd go home and I'd be up till 3, 4 in the morning trying to build my business, my real estate investing business. And it was just crazy. There's an article that was put in Inc. magazine. You'll see it. I was comparing in 2006 and then more recently in 2014 that entrepreneurs work over 60 hours a week. And for me, I was trying to do both. I was working a corporate job and trying to be an entrepreneur at the same time. And fortunately, one of the things that I ran into while investing in real estate is there was a seminar where they talked about hiring a virtual assistant to do the day-to-day tasks that you might need to do in running your business. And I hired my first virtual assistant to help me with real estate investing. And one of the things that I was doing that was a repetitive task was posting ads in Craigslist indicating that I buy houses and that I'm interested in buying homes. And the other thing that I was doing was searching Craigslist articles for sale by owners, people that were selling their homes and going to for sale by owner websites. And it was a repetitive task that I was spending my time trying to do that. And another, an interesting thing that at the time too, there was a book that came out by Timothy Ferriss called The 4-Hour Workweek. You might have heard that. And that talked about outsourcing a lot of the activities that you do, whether it's in your personal life or in your business life, outsourcing those activities and having somebody else do that for you. And so when I hired my first virtual assistant, I had them start the repetitive task of posting ads on Craigslist for me, and with contacting people who were selling their properties. And so I was able to be successful in doing that. I did some real estate deals. One of the first deals that I did was with the president of my real estate investment club. It was a wholesale deal that my virtual assistant found by contacting people on Craigslist. And once I did that successful deal, did a few more successful deals, people started approaching me and said, hey, we want to hire a virtual assistant and have us do these repetitive tasks just like you're doing. And that was the birth of my business. So that's how I started the Virtual Assistant Talent LLC business that I have today. And since then, I've experienced with hiring and training and managing hundreds of virtual assistants. And an interesting thing in working at whether it was at General Electric or working at Toyota joint venture. One of the first things that they always told us when we were put into a corporate position or put into a new job is to come up with a standardized work for whatever task that you're doing. Let's say it's on a daily basis, or it's on a weekly basis, or it's on a monthly basis. That task, we would come up with the standardized work or step-by-step instructions on how to do that task. And the reason why we did that was, well, number one, it was a good reference for us in order to make sure that we're doing our work properly. But also, as people either quit their jobs, or let's say they moved into another position, or you had people working for you, that if you went on vacation, they would be able to keep that work going, and they had a reference document. And that's something that I encourage everybody to do is to take a look at your business and see what work needs to be done to run your business on a daily basis, what work needs to be done in order to grow your business, and can it be done remotely or virtually by somebody else. And this is something that can really help you to achieve a balance in your life, to help to save you time, can help save you money, it can help scale your business. And that's really what I do in my business is I help business owners to grow their business and improve their quality of life without them having to put all their own time into it. And so with Virtual Assistant Talent LLC, what we do is we provide low-cost, world-class virtual assistants from the Philippines to business owners in the U.S., Canada, other countries. It was founded in 2009, and we've employed hundreds of Philippine-based virtual assistants to support our clients doing a number of different tasks, which include digital marketing, search engine optimization, social media marketing, content writing, blogging, web design, graphics design, lead gen, telemarketing, administrative, all those different tasks, you name it. And so that's our website. If you wanted to find out more about us, it's virtualassistanttalent.com, and the phone number's listed there as well. But the power of having a virtual assistant is just incredible. And one of the things that we've done here with this LinkedIn marketing task that Ken has shown is we basically come up with a standardized work of how to market on LinkedIn, and how to, it's something that you can do on your own, or it's something that you can assign to a VA to do. And my whole goal is, especially as being an entrepreneur, I know what it's like for somebody to want to start a business. And maybe if you're working a corporate job and you're trying to have your own business on the side so that eventually you can leave that corporate job, or maybe you're already there, you're doing, you are an entrepreneur, you're a small business owner, you've exited from the corporate job and you have your own business. The next thing is there's a tremendous amount of work. There's a lot that's involved in running your own business. And I can tell you, when I was doing the corporate job and when I was doing my own business at the same time, I was getting maybe 4 hours of sleep a day, 3 hours of sleep a day, and sometimes I get 4 hours of sleep and I say, oh, that's better than 2 hours of sleep. And so to the extent that you can identify things that you can outsource to a virtual assistant can really make the difference in improving your work-life balance. So some of the benefits that I found and that I think you'll find with hiring a virtual assistant to do different tasks, including the LinkedIn task, is just achieving that work-life balance to be able to spend more time with your family, having a healthier lifestyle, sufficient sleep, well-rested. With this LinkedIn task, it's something that it works, it's proven over time, and if you have the VA do that task, that can help to generate prospects. So imagine you wake up in the morning, you've got some prospects in your LinkedIn account. Less stress, reduced costs. I'll show you in some upcoming slides the tremendous benefit of when it comes to outsourcing certain work tasks that either you're doing or maybe you're having office-based worker doing, how You can significantly reduce your costs by having a virtual assistant do that, achieving more clients and prospects, getting increased revenue, and so forth. So that there can really be that transformation. I can tell you, I went from trying to do everything in my own business to only having to do very high value added tasks, such as being in front of customers, doing presentations, and doing the high value added work that I was the main person that had to do that, or I could do. So it can really help to transform your life and business. And as I mentioned before, with LinkedIn, this is something I've been a part of Ken's coaching program for probably about 4 years now. And this is a technique that he was having his virtual assistant do for him, and this is a technique that I've also been using as well, and it's something that has stood the test of time, and we've had to modify the programs slightly as different challenges come up with in LinkedIn, but we've worked around those issues and we've modified the program, and we continue to do so. If there's any roadblocks, we find ways around those roadblocks. But this is a program that continues to work very well for us. And what we do with this program is it's called the Virtual Assistant Done For You Starter Package for LinkedIn. And if you want to assign a VA to do this for you, we have a VA that's experienced in doing this task exactly, where we've come up with a standardized work for this task. We'll have a VA to help you set up your LinkedIn account. The VA is going to help you create your LinkedIn profile if you don't have a profile or if it's incomplete. We'll have the VA focus on that to create a profile that's optimized. And when I say optimized, what that means is, sometimes people will search on LinkedIn for specific types of people that run specific type of businesses, and similar to what you might have in Google. If somebody's searching for Google by keyword, the search function in LinkedIn works that way to some extent. So having a complete profile that's optimized, that clearly presents your message to your avatar, or who your prospect would be for your business or for your service, creating that LinkedIn profile that's going to get people's attention. So that's an activity that might, in the first week of activity, if you have a virtual assistant, they'll work with you on getting that profile up. Then the daily activity the VA would do 5 days a week. So initially you got to join the LinkedIn groups. So joining 2 LinkedIn groups per day containing potential clients, and the VA is going to join 10 groups in that first week. So if you're joining 2 groups a day, that's 10 groups, and then potentially up to the LinkedIn maximum of 100 groups, and then monitor and replace groups ongoing as needed with groups that have better responsiveness and activity. So you'll see the VA's job is, when they go in there, they're looking for groups that have the activity. They're looking for groups that people are going to engage with you, and if groups are not getting the responsiveness and not getting the activity, then they swap those groups out for groups that better perform. So it's identifying and joining groups that are going to have your avatar, your potential clients, your power partners, and then just like Ken showed you, to send 25 connection messages per day within LinkedIn, which would be 125 connection messages per week. And then when they're sending that message, they're then looking for positive responses to the message for follow-up and action. And the follow-up and action, as an example with me, anytime I get a positive response in LinkedIn, my virtual assistant notifies me of it, and then in certain cases, I may wish to contact that person directly. In other cases, there might be a message or communication that you create and have the VA do some sort of follow-up. So the VA is going to notify and monitor and notify you of positive responses, and then flag that so that you can follow up. Now, I talked about in terms of looking at different types of activities and what type of activity that you could be doing versus having somebody else do it for you. So again, this activity, as well as a lot of other activities that you may have in your business, these are activities that maybe you would want to do, or maybe that you could have somebody else do for you. And any time that I look at spending my time doing something, I look at, well, how much is my time worth versus having somebody else do that for me? There's so many different things that I could be doing for my business. You know, I could learn, as an example, I could learn iContact, MailChimp, or Aweber, whatever my emailing program is to connect with my list. I could learn how to do that. I could write an article. I could do some graphics editing. I could put that content out there and send it to my list. But do I really have the time for that? And is it worth my time to be doing that activity? Or should I be on the phone communicating with my customer, or should I be presenting to audiences and so forth? So you can't do it all. So you look at how much is your time worth versus hiring somebody else. And these are some statistics that I pulled from Bureau of Labor Statistics, Pay Scale, and then also Social Security Administration. If you look at, for example, let's say this LinkedIn task, you're going to spend an hour per day, weekdays. The cost of doing this, if you were, let's say, an insurance agent, I've got kind of the average salary for an insurance agent, or how much they make on average, at the midpoint, $47,000 a year, or $23 an hour. If you were an insurance agent, that would be costing you $115 weekly, or $460 monthly. If you're a real estate agent, that would be $98 weekly, $394 monthly. Small business owners, so according to Pay Scale, their statistics, an average small business owner is making around $60,000 a year, or $28.48 an hour. If you're doing this task, then that's costing you $142.40 weekly, or $569 monthly. Is that the best use of your time? And then Social Security, the average wage, $46,000. That would translate into $111, and so forth. Marketing assistant. Now, let's say you hired a marketing assistant to do this task for you. The average salary of a marketing assistant, for national data, $35,000 a year, $16.91 per hour. That means you'd be paying a marketing assistant about $84.55 a week, or $338 per month. If you're going to have them do this task. And then admin assistant, average admin assistant's at about $31,000, or $14.85 per hour, and on a weekly basis that would cost $74.25, or $297 monthly. So I always look at that, you know, in terms of what would it cost if I was to do it versus hiring somebody else. And this is some data I can use specific. If it was LinkedIn, an hour per day, this is what it would cost. So with the VA Done For You Starter Package, again, this is one of the services where we've said this is something that you can have a virtual assistant do. This is something that works. What's the cost of your time worth? If, you know, whether as a small business owner, if you're doing it, what's the cost of your time? If you wanted to hire an office-based worker, how much would it cost you to have an office-based worker do this, who's actually knows how to do the task? Well, office-based worker could be $338 or $297. You know, if you look back at, you know, the data that I put up, an admin assistant $297 a month, or a marketing assistant $338 a month. So with this package, what we come up with is if you wanted to have a virtual assistant do this, the weekly package cost would be $49 a week, monthly cost $49 a week times 4 weeks, or $196 a month. So that's a significant cost savings versus having an office-based worker do it, or if you compared your time if you wanted to do that task. Now, there is a promotion that we're having for this, and there's a promo code that if you want to sign up for our program, there's a promo code of, we've got a few different pricing options if you wanted to go ahead with this service. Weekly, $49. You use promo code KEN5, it's $44 a week. Bi-weekly, $98. You use promo code KEN10, which is $88 bi-weekly. Monthly, $196, and you use promo code KEN20 for $176 per month. So that's,
John,
yes, go ahead.
let me just interrupt there a moment, because we're dealing with numbers here. What I do every month is my cost for your virtual assistant. Each month I go with that cost and I determine what is my return on investment. Last month when I did that calculation, I had a 327% return on investment on what it cost me for the virtual assistant. So if you're making 2 or 3 times more than what the virtual assistant is costing you, then it's well worth it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. And you know, any of these activities too, it's all about the ROI and how much is a lead or prospect worth to you, and what types of conversions are you getting. And I can tell you again, this technique, you know, this is something that you introduced me to, and this is something that has been working very well for us and continues to work to build our list of prospects. This promo code, if you sign up by November 27th, applies to the first couple months of service, and these are the promo codes to use. So if you're looking for more details about that or to sign up for that, you go to virtualassistanttalent.com/LinkedIn and to sign up for those services. And I can't emphasize this more, that the coaching program and the VA services complement each other perfectly, because I can tell you, there's these different tasks that you can do, and if you're sending out, for example, a connection message to somebody, it really makes a difference in terms of the content of that connection message as to whether it's going to be successful or not. And Ken's put together this connection message that works, that's proven, and if you're part of his coaching program, he can help you. He can help tweak that message to help you get the best conversions. And it can make the difference between having successful communications with prospects and not successful communications. It's certainly helped me out tremendously by having Ken look at my ad copy or my sales copy and offering me suggestions, and that's something that's available as part of the coaching calls that he has. To sign up for his program, you go to www.buildyourbusinessfast.com to sign up for his coaching program. Now, very quickly, we're going to get into some questions coming up, but some people ask me, well, okay, let's say you don't want to do the LinkedIn task, or let's say you want to do the LinkedIn task, but you got a lot of other things in your business that you may want to outsource or have someone do for you, whether it's managing your biweekly or monthly newsletter campaign, writing articles for you, managing your social media, helping you to get your web traffic. These are types of things that we can do. We offer all these other VA services. And if it's something that whether it's something that you have expertise in and you've got the standardized work on how to do it, or you don't have the expertise on it and you need somebody to help you with it, this is where the VA services can help you out. And so our hourly rate, this came up on some of the other webinars. People were asking us how much does it cost. So non-technical VAs, such as an admin assistant, social media, content creator, somebody to do research or possibly PowerPoint presentations, that's starting at $8.20 an hour. We have a lot of flexibility in terms of fitting any type of budget that you may have in terms of your business needs. If you need somebody for 10 hours a week, 15, 20, 40 hours a week, we can be flexible in terms of how many hours a week that you need the VA to work with you. And so these are the monthly costs. And most people, you know, you can have a VA working for you for 10 hours a week as an example, that's $328 a month, upwards to, let's say you need to outsource somebody to answer the phones for you all day and handle your customer service, or you need somebody to do chat support for your website. So those are the costs for non-technical VAs, and then if you have technical VAs that you need to do web design, web maintenance, graphics, IT, or programming, that starts at $11.20 an hour. So our process with that is we talk to you, you explain to us what tasks you're doing in your business that you just don't have the time to do it, or what do you need to do, such as, for marketing your business, and work with you to get a VA that will meet the needs for your business. And again, we've employed hundreds of VAs, and so we know which VAs are good, which ones aren't, and we're employing VAs that have a proven track record. And we've got a process to monitor the VAs for time and attendance. We do a screenshots and time tracking to make sure that the VA is working. I've got a great support team. I've got a client rep. I've got a human resources person. Got a web designer, SEO people, and so forth. So we work with people that that have proven track record with our clients. So again, if you're interested in our services, you go to virtualassistanttalent.com or give us a call there. Next, Ken, I'd like to turn it back over to you, and we can see if anybody has some questions about the coaching program or the service and so forth. We're going to open it up for questions here. So for questions, there's a couple ways that you can ask your questions, there's one method of asking questions is if you want to raise your hand. You can raise your hand by clicking the little hand button and raise your hand, and we'll take you off mute so you can ask a question over the phone or over your microphone. And then the other is if in the chat box, you can also submit a question that way. So we'll open up for questions now. And again, if you wanted to see the presentation or you missed a portion of it, we are going to also be sending out a copy of the presentation and a recording of the presentation. So we'll open up for questions. We do have one question that's already come in. Let's see. All right. Somebody's saying, okay, yeah, they see it already. Somebody's asking if you grew up in Jersey, Ken. That's
yes. Yes, I grew up in Jersey City.
All right, yes. Okay. That's Scott. All right, thanks, Scott. All right. Yeah, so somebody's asking me what happened to the real estate business. So I decided, so with the real estate business, I did a number of different deals, but what started happening to me was people were asking me for virtual assistant services, and I decided to focus on the VA side of the business. It was something that I enjoyed. I guess you could say I enjoyed it more than real estate just because of my HR background, and I chose to focus on developing the VA business. So I still have, am in touch with real estate. I've got rental properties in different states, but I'm no longer doing the flipping side of the business. I decided to focus on the VA business, and that's my main focus, although I'm still in touch with real estate due to having rental properties. So it's all about doing what you enjoy, and I found myself kind of divided into trying to find the best real estate deals and then managing the business, and this was kind of where I wanted to focus in. But I'm still in touch with, in terms of having a pulse of what's going on in the market, and I still do have rental properties, but right now I'm not actively seeking deals or trying to flip. I'm more focused on the VA or business side. So thanks for that question, Andrew. Okay, so here's another question from, let's see, Richard. Okay, so Richard says, I reverse age-related stiffness in golfers. I belong to some golf groups, but they're mostly individuals who are in the golf business and are either not interested or can't afford my $42,000 42-week program. I'd like to target high net worth individuals on LinkedIn who play golf but are not in the golf business itself. So that's I guess a scenario that Richard has in terms of wanting to use LinkedIn to target high net worth individuals on LinkedIn who play golf but are not in the golf business itself.
All right. You want me to answer that, John?
Yeah, sure, okay.
All right. One of the things, Richard, that you should be doing is two things. In my coaching program, I show individuals not only how to create prospects on social media, but also direct mail and offline mechanisms to create clients. So you might want to look in some of the offline methods also. But on LinkedIn, I would just go to the search of the groups that I showed you there and just type in the keyword golf. And then type in golfers, G-O-L-F-E-R-S. If you just type in golfer, you're not going to get the groups that say for golfers in so-and-so. And those are the ones that you want to build a relationship with. And you won't be able to find out what their net worth is, but you could find out what their position is in the company that they're working for. So like if you go to the CXO and CEO ones like I just showed you on mine, chances are these are high net worth individuals. So you want to type in a search bar, CEOs, CXOs, COOs, etc. So you get the list of the high-end individuals. And I hope that helps, Richard. If there's more to the question that you need answered, click on the hands-free, and we'll let you come on and ask more of the question.
Right. Okay. Good. So let's see. I think that's it for our questions. I don't see any additional hands raised right now. But if you have any additional questions, there's Ken's email available there. And so Ken, did you have any additional closing comments you wanted to make or anything?
Just that I wish everybody the best of luck. I want to thank all of you for spending the time listening to this webinar. And I'd appreciate if you emailed me and told me the results that you're having. So my best to everybody. And again, I want to thank you again.